And Cecil Doyle back for another hour of the Medicine Ball Caravan on KRVS. This is our final hour of this spring pledge drive 2023. Please become a member if you haven't yet. KRVS has become a vital part of the arts community and nonprofits here in Southwest Louisiana for 60 years and can only continue another year with your support. Dirk Powell is back here in the KRVS studios, a good friend of ours. You can't think of a better definition of a true American musician. The guy has been fluent in banjo, fiddle, piano, and of course, coming down here, to a couple of decades or more ago, and ensconcing himself in the sounds of South Louisiana and becoming, he's become Cajun, whether he likes it or not. Dirk is always busy. He's performed in the past with, folks like Eric Clapton, Joan Baez, Buddy Miller, Jack White, Loretta Lynn, Lee Von Helm, and countless others. Will you welcome to the KRVS studios, Mr. Dirk Powell?
Thank you, everybody out there in Radio Land clapping right now. And thank you, Cecil.
What you got for us, Dirk?
Well, I thought I'd start out with a song. I've been reflecting a little bit on the last few years, the sort of era that arrived kind of exactly 3 years ago with COVID and everything. And it was an interesting moment where there was a lot of loss and a lot of difficulty, but a few things happened that had some silver lining to them. The way the birds sounded, the way that kind of the traffic died. And I had a moment where I felt this kind of return to maybe a little bit of a simpler and more natural way of being that I, in a way had no choice but to embrace, but also was really grateful for. And at that time, I wrote this song, which I'll do for you now, called Redbird Road.
Great.
Going down Redbird Road and I'm going today. Babe, I want to know if you're going my way. Going down Redbird Road and I'm going today. I heard of a footpath where the road starts winding. There ain't no better place to hear the songbirds pining. Word of a footpath where the road starts winding. Down Redbird Road we will sit and listen. Such sweet, simple melodies. Darling, it might be what we've been missing. Walk down Redbird Road with me. We can't cross the creek where the road gets narrow. You're a mourning dove and I'm a lonesome sparrow. We can cross the creek where the road gets narrow. On the rocky bank we will sit hand in hand. Stay there till that stream turns those rocks to sand. On the rocky bank, we will sit hand in hand. Down Redbird Road, we will sit and listen. Such sweet, simple melodies. Darling, it might be what we've been missing. Walk down Redbird Road with me. Darling, it might be what we've been missing. walk down Redbird Road with me.
Beautiful song, Dirk. Man, I could almost hear the water flowing right there, man. I really caught the ambience of the place. I imagine that place is real, huh?
Well, yeah, it's my grandmother grew up in a place called Redbird, Kentucky, which was in Clay County, Kentucky, which is actually one of the poorest counties in the country. And I just think about sort of that setting and that place. And the road itself, the name that I put on the road is not necessarily exactly a specific place, but in my mind, the images are very vivid of that feeling of, inviting someone, not only being in that space or wanting to be in that space, but inviting someone you love to share it and to return to that energy, especially in this modern kind of electronic whirlwind, which is an interesting thing about the last few years that, in some ways when the COVID era started, we all had to get super local, but then that whole thing expanded too, the online presence. So I don't know, that one to me is just about inviting your loved one to get back to what really matters,
Yeah, it certainly does. And, I'm realizing, just about once a year we manage to bring Dirk in and we kind of catch up on what he's been doing. And, every time I'm looking online, I'm seeing your name. You stay busy. You're always on the road. You always got some kind of project, and I'm always seem to be hearing about multiple projects. I never hear about Dirk doing one thing at any one time. So anyway, how you been, man? Lately, you been working in the studio, or what's been up, man?
I've been good, man. I've been doing a lot of cool projects. Been working with a group called Ordinary Elephant, who are now based here beautifully and producing their record. It's gorgeous.
Where are they from originally?
Well, they lived in Austin for a while. She was from here originally and just moved back. They kind of moved back right at the beginning of COVID, which was a hard time to move back. But it's exciting that they're now, they're here, they're local, and they're really, really talented. So I've been doing that. I've been working on my next record, which I'm really, really excited about, which is called Wake, which all the meaning of that word, which was actually inspired in me on a trip to Lake Foss Point when I was out there, and I saw the sign, no wake zone. And I thought about what kind of wake do we leave in life? Because, we were out a little bit further in the water, and a boat came by that left this huge wake and upset the little canoe that I was in. And I just kind of thought about this, like, here's this trail that we leave behind us in life, and yet it can be uproarious or it can be smooth, but it also fades, And then I thought about the word as a celebration of life. I have a celebration of Courtney Granger on my new record. It's kind of almost like a second line song about him that I'm trying to send him on and with love, and also waking up to present. So this word for me had all these meanings. So my new record is based around that word, and I'm really excited about it. That's kind of getting closer to the final stages. I mean, it's evolving, but really excited about it.
Well, I'm really excited. Can't wait to hear that as every project you're involved with. You got your banjo now.
Yeah.
That's not the original banjo that was handed down to you, right? Or am I looking at another one?
I have a banjo and a fiddle that my grandfather played. I have my grandfather's fiddle that he won in a poker game when he was 13.
Right. I've heard, in the past.
I've heard that story.
Right.
I know. I mean, I can't help but tell that story because it's just too good.
Yeah.
But I have his banjo. This one is one that I got when I was 16. This one's kind of been around the world with me,
Mm-hmm. What we got?
I'm going to do one off my previous record. My last record was When I Wait For You. The one before that was called Walking Through Clay. I'll do one off that record called Rollin' Round This Town. I can see you ain't got no one like me. I've been rolling around this town. There ain't no other man who can love you like I can. shining bright when I get to feeling right. I've been rolling around this town, and I ain't ever done till I see the rising sun. I've been rolling around this town. So get on out of bed, come meet me in the shed. I've been rolling around this town. I'll bring a jug of shine that cuts like turpentine. I've been rolling around this town. Wanna hear you sing your song, gonna rock you all night long. I've been rolling around this town. That ever-loving sheen, baby, burns like gasoline. I've been rolling around this town. When you're old and gray, baby, don't you wanna say I used to roll around this town, burning memories where regrets used to be. I've been rolling around this town.
Wow, Dirk Powell here on the Madball Caravan. Dirk, I could almost hear Doc Boggs playing that song, man. That's a good number. Love it.
Thanks, man.
KRVS, been doing this in the area for 60 years, bringing you local music, keeping the culture, kind of connecting it with Southwest Louisiana. We just got a couple more pledges here from actually good friends of ours. James Abear, our former operations manager, calls in with a pledge and says, grateful for KRVS and all the work of the local producers and staff, and also getting a pledge from none other than Deej Leg, who says, Sir Cecil, the greatest DJ of all time.
Yes.
Much thanks to KRVS. I don't know about that, Deej, but hey, thanks, man. I appreciate the compliment, and also appreciate local musicians doing their part. A musician, you're not like rolling in cash, so we appreciate, I kind of super appreciate, double and triple appreciate any local musician who pledges to KRVS to kind of keep the music and their sound, rolling. We're here every Monday through Thursday, and we play a wide variety of sound, from all around, but focusing here on Southwest Louisiana. And if your music gets played, we would appreciate you kind of pitching into the fold and keeping this going for another year. You can do that at 482-5787-337-482-KRVS or online at krvs.org. And we've got Dirk here, an outstanding member of the musical community, which is so large. Like they say, you can't swing a fiddle in this town without hitting a musician. But some of them, or just here and do work outside of the area and just make this place all the richer. And Dirk is one of those folks. And Dirk, I'm sure KRVS has been part of your existence here since you've been living in Southwest Louisiana.
It absolutely is, and I'm so grateful for KRVS. And I was just kind of commenting online about I don't know of another station that supports traditional arts so deeply, and also original creative arts, so-called fine arts or whatever, but just that this place can both embrace the essence of the traditional culture here so deeply, and also have so much encouragement for artists that are creating and taking chances in their own way, because it is a highly unique situation, and this town, I think, is very unique that way. The mix of tradition and other kinds of art, and the way that they overlap and combine with this seeming ease, and intention, where everybody's valuing each other. It's pretty amazing, and I think KRVS is an incredible reflection of that. And I know that when I make music, I feel like, I have a place to bring it that, thanks to you, Cecil, that it's going to get heard and that it's going to have a chance to live. And that's just, it means a lot.
Well put, Dirk. And KRVS has definitely been a voice for all of the local musicians of every sort, and if you value that, we need to hear from you this morning, or at least this week. We're kind of coming to you. We come to you twice a year and ask for your support. You can pledge anytime, but again, please consider our pledge this morning at krvs.org. Dirk, we're going to get you to do another number live, and we're going to talk some more about music over the next few minutes, but you got another number you can lay on us live?
I sure do. I wanted to play this old Kalamazoo guitar. I have an interesting story about this too.
Yeah, I've never seen that guitar before.
Yeah, I don't really travel with it, so I thought, well, I have an opportunity to bring it over here. And I have I got it off of Craigslist here in Lafayette, and I actually got this guitar off of Craigslist in Lafayette, this other one that I played earlier, which is my favorite recording guitar in the world. Uh-huh. But this one was so interesting. I saw it on Craigslist. I was surprised because these old Kalamazoos aren't all that common. And when I met up with the man who was selling it, and he said, "Oh, I just thought I was going to use it as a planter. I didn't think anybody wanted these guitars anymore." He's like, "I was going to hang it on the wall or like paint it or something." And he said, then I went online and saw that people were selling them for, a pretty good amount of money. So I thought I would, see if somebody wanted it, So I was like, well, I'm really glad that you did, because I would rather it not be a planter.
All right.
But he told me his grandfather bought it new in Lafayette in 1934. And the thing about it that touched me so much, when I picked it up and I just played a couple notes on it and just played a few little lines, and he literally got tears in his eyes and looked at me and said, "I never thought I'd hear her sing again."
Wow.
Isn't that something?
And, to think that guitar is almost 100 years old, and here it is, it's still being played today.
Yeah, and it has a special quality. I mean, it's these old guitars like this one are very deep,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do a profound song on it. I figured I'd do one kind of goofy song.
Okay.
This is kind of a current song situation that I think people can relate to. It's called Thinking About Not Thinking About You. Well, I just called to let you know I don't intend to call. I'm focused on detachment, and I'm not tempted at all. I'm centered in this moment, and the present feels so good. So I don't think that we should talk, but if you think we should, well, you can call me. And I might be sitting here, you can call me. Same number I've had all these years. If you're lucky, you might catch me doing what I do. Just sitting here, thinking about not thinking about you. Well, I just texted to let you know I'm not checking my texts. I'm too busy on life's journey, can't wait for what comes next. I keep my phone on silent, and I turn it off at night, so I might not even realize it. If you thought you might text me, well, I could be sitting here, you could text me. Same number I've had all these years. If you're lucky, you might catch me doing what I do. Just sitting here, thinking about not thinking about you. Well, I wrote this song to let you know you're no longer in my songs. No more lovesick ballads about crying all night long. I haven't written one about you since I don't know when, but that might be because I don't know when this song will end. You can hear me, and I might be sitting here, you can hear me, just just like I have for all these years. If I'm lucky, you might hear me doing what I do, just sitting here thinking about not thinking about you.
Love it, man. That song sounds so real.
That's pretty real, right? I'm like, I think everybody can relate to that on some level.
Certainly.
It's like, I really want to call you to tell you I'm not going to call you.
Oh,
you know?
Definitely. Well, Dirk, man, thanks so much for playing some tunes live here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking a little bit more about your music. In fact, let's go out on this number from your last album, When I Wait for You, The Bright Light of Day. You want to tell us a little bit about that number? We're playing a lot here.
Yeah, man, that's a song that I wrote. It's really based on real things in life. You know, my family was all from Eastern Kentucky. My parents moved to Ohio, like a lot do, you know, to pursue a better opportunity financially and things. And then it's such a common story that people go from rural areas to urban areas, or from, you know, the south to the north. And so many people leave this area, you know, and then come back to it. I know so many people who have left maybe in their 20s and then come back 10, 15 years later. And it's kind of about that. It's about, okay, you know, I'm going to go back to the place I come from, and I'm going to go back to these people that love me. And, you know, one of the lines in the song says, you know, can you ever really leave the place you learned to love? And so it's about that. It's literally kind of a character based on me, not really me, but, you know, in the Greyhound station in Ohio, taking the bus back down to Kentucky and meeting my Aunt Myrtle and my Uncle Clyde, who are real people.
Yeah, I love it. And that paints a picture, because I get this feeling. Yeah, I kind of feel the loneliness and anticipation of sitting at a bus station. You know, that comes through in the song. So yeah, let's listen to it. This is Bright Light of Day. We're here with Dirk Powell here on the Madison Davis Caravan. We just heard Bright Light of Day from Dirk's last release, When I Wait for You. And Dirk currently, as he was mentioning, working on a new album. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to getting any kind of new material from you, man. What did you bring us to hear today?
Well, I brought a few things from that record, Works in Progress. The first song is one called Down the Line, and it's kind of an example of some of the things that I love about, you know, American music. Kind of, it's fairly simple. There's a lot of this call and response. Not everybody realizes how much call and response, especially coming, you know, from African roots, is so important in American music. I mean, you know it in the obvious ways where there's literally a call and response, but it's also interwoven into so many things, like especially a lot of music around here. So this song is kind of evocative of, it's basically, it could be somebody from here just, you know, I wanted to go to Texas, kind of going all the way across, going to California, like getting away, but like, you know, what kind of time are they having? They're clearly having a sort of a difficult time, but yet seeking this freedom. And it's just kind of, it's got a lot of that call and response, and a lot of sort of, it's meant to sort of put you in a zone as opposed to here's a bunch of notes.
All right, what's it called again?
It's called Down the Line.
Okay. Wow, you captured some atmosphere there, Dirk. Wow, incredible number, man. Again, that's from the upcoming album that will be entitled Wake. Was that it?
Yes.
And so, any timeline on that one, or is just kind of fluid right now?
I'm definitely going to be finishing it within the next few months. When the label, which is Compass Records, will want to put it out, I'm not quite sure, but
they're the ones that put out. That's who put out your last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And yeah, and I have my daughter Amelia. We've been doing a ton together. She sings some harmony on that one, as you know. That'll be on there eventually, and you know, she's been going to be a big part of this record, singing and adding. She's just doing, you know, she's a big part of my musical existence. And
yeah, and you stay so busy. I think you were telling me a while back that you've been working with Cedric Watson a bit lately, and so yeah, I'm always interested in anything you're involved in, man. So yeah, curious to hope to someday hear the fruits of that. Can we hear one more from the upcoming record before we let you go, man?
Absolutely, man. I'd love to play my version of a George Harrison song, "Long, Long, Long," which has always resonated with me, man, since I was like listening to the White Album when I was a kid, you know, because it's about that spiritual longing and quest, and you know, he said something about that sort of exhausted place where you've been searching and trying so hard, and then you find it, you know. And I guess when the Beatles recorded it, I read somewhere that, you know, they were up till 7 a.m. doing this track. Like, this was the one that took to get that mood that is on their version of it. But
yes,
it always it always touched me, and so many things that I value in life are things that don't necessarily define the lines between spiritual love and physical, emotional, human, romantic love. And that's why I love Rumi, and that's one of the reasons I love Bob Marley. Or just there's people where like these lines, they don't have to be delineated, and this song is definitely spiritual, but it's just about that longing and finally finding. So this is my version, my take.
Yeah, it's an interesting selection to choose. Well, Dirk, thanks so much for coming by, man. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for helping us out during this spring pledge drive. And again, this is Long, Long, the Beatles number from Dirk's upcoming album. Thanks, Dirk.
Thank you.